If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, if you want to tell me you hate my videos, the best way to do it is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Jay-Z kind of stumbles on his words a little bit when they ask him if he would kneel during the national anthem. And Nicki Minaj says Charlemagne gets very excited when he thinks somebody is about to talk trash about her. And SkinnyFromThe9 gets involved in a street fight. Let's talk hip-hop.
Okay, I think we've passed kneeling. I think it's time to go into actionable items. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that. Everyone knows what you know what the issue is? You know why we were kneeling? Okay, do you know the issue? Yeah, do you know the issue? Yes? We all know the issue now. Okay, next. Where we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so to be clear for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do? How are we going to stop? Because the kneeling was not about a job. It was about injustice. Let me bring attention to injustice. Everyone's saying, how are you going forward if Cap doesn't have a job? This wasn't about him having a job.
Yo, listen, man, the way Jay-Z was tap dancing around that question was crazy, right? It's a yes or no question, right? Are you going to kneel? Would you kneel, right? He could have said yes, or he could have said, nah, I don't want to kneel. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, right? It's crazy. Because we all know that the reason why the NFL hired Jay-Z and Roc Nation and his firm to help out with, I guess, racial sensitivity is because the NFL, they're losing money hand over fist. I mean, let's be completely honest, right? So, and Jay-Z was one of the voices that were kind of involved or very instrumental in the original, hey, you know, all black people are going to, you know, boycott the NFL. All black people are going to boycott the Super Bowl. Nobody's gonna watch it, right? So over the past year, there's a lot of people that I know that really stuck to that really decided not to watch the Super Bowl, that really didn't watch the NFL, none of the games, nothing like that, right? And so they actually are losing money, right? So they're like, okay, we got to figure this out, right? Because the new football season is coming up in September, next month, right? Less than a month away, like 3 weeks, right? On September 5th is the first game, right? So they're like, yo, we got to try to figure out something here, right? And so they go and hire Jay-Z, right? And the big and bottom line of the whole situation is that they want to try to use Jay-Z as somebody who's going to get the black people to watch football again. Period, point blank, right? How Jay-Z goes about doing it, you know, is on him and on the NFL and how they decide to partner up, right? So they say, all right, Jay-Z's being hired to help out with diversity, right? Jay-Z is being hired to provide an entertainment platform for NFL players who think that, you know, social issues are something that they need to talk about and stand on. So Jay-Z will be providing that, I guess, mainframe or that mechanism so that they can do that infrastructure so that they can do that without repercussions from the league, right? And all that's good and everything like that. And it sounds good. And of course, they're going to tell us what sounds good. And Jay-Z is a legendary rapper and also number one on my GOAT list, right? But I don't know, man, because if Jay-Z is, I don't want to say scared to say that he would kneel. Maybe he wouldn't kneel. Maybe he doesn't want to kneel. But I don't know if Jay-Z is the type of person that even if nobody asked him, right? And even if he saw Colin Kaepernick kneeling 3 years ago, right? That he would look at that and say, oh man, I wouldn't kneel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that because I don't know Jay-Z personally, so I don't want to speak for Jay-Z, right? But Jay-Z doesn't know me personally, and for some reason, he's speaking for me, right? Because they asked him, would you kneel? And he didn't say yes or no because he could have just spoke for himself, right? But he said, I think that we're past that. I think that what we want to do is try to figure out how to move forward. Yes, kneeling is something that sparked this whole movement, but what's next is what Jay-Z said, right? But who is we? Is he talking about himself and Beyonce? Is he talking about, you know, him and Colin Kaepernick? Is he talking about we as in, the way that he said it was he's talking about we as in black people. Like, I think that we're past that, kneeling, right? So that's the thing. Like, are they going to be looking to Jay-Z to speak for all black people now? And if Jay-Z is afraid to, and this is in front of cameras now, at a press conference, if he's afraid to stand up for us, I guess, because he's speaking for we now and say that, yeah, you know, we are going to keep kneeling. Like, did he talk to Colin Kaepernick? Because Jay-Z said that in one article that I read, Jay-Z said that he did not speak to Colin Kaepernick, right? And then Jay-Z says that he did speak to Colin Kaepernick during the press conference. But then Jay-Z's girlfriend said, not Jay-Z's girlfriend, Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend went on Twitter and said, no, Colin has not spoken to Jay-Z at all. So he can't be talking about himself and Colin Kaepernick being past this, right? So I just want to figure out, like, who is Jay-Z representing, right? But I know, and I get it, that the NFL hired Jay-Z to represent all black people so that basically you try to move them in the direction of the NFL, right? And this is crazy because it comes after Jay-Z said, yo, I said no to the Super Bowl. They need me. I don't need them. I've been selling out arenas, right? Which Jay-Z has. I've been to more than one Jay-Z concert that's in an arena, like Yankee Stadium type thing. Like, not type, Yankee Stadium, right? Not, you know, a club or anything like that. It's Jay-Z, right? So it's just kind of weird and funny that they must have had to pay Jay-Z a lot of money for him to get up there and, like, kind of go against what he feels morally, right? Or at least that's what he was saying in a lot of his music and a lot of interviews, you know, that he's done. So I'm kind of confused. But the way that Jay-Z is going to carry this out may help us out, us, right, black people, since he wants to speak for everybody. It may help us out, or, you know, it may kind of bring to the light, you know, the NFL's, you know, underbelly of racism and how they just kind of view a lot of things. Because, you know, the whole situation is a lot of people were getting upset at Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee during the national anthem, saying it's disrespectful to veterans and everything like that, when it really wasn't about veterans. It was about police brutality. And then what if you have a veteran that happens to be black, right? Like, does that black veteran, you know, say, I support Colin Kaepernick because I know he's kneeling for police brutality? Or does that black veteran say, you know, I'm offended because he's disrespecting the flag, right? But again, it was never about disrespecting the flag. And for me, myself, I am a veteran and I'm black, and I support Colin Kaepernick wholeheartedly. And if he wants to kneel during the national anthem, then that's cool. And to be honest with you, I would kneel too, even though I'm a veteran. Even though I stood up there and saluted the flag, because I know that he's not disrespecting the flag. I wouldn't disrespect my flag. But the reason why he's kneeling is because he's sick and tired of seeing unarmed black people, men, women, children, be killed by the police. He saw that going on a lot a couple years ago and decided to protest about it and for it, right? So that's one thing. And Jay-Z is saying, okay, that brought this all to light, so how do we address the issue? But the issue is still not being addressed, Jay-Z, so until it is, why wouldn't you kneel, right? Okay, fine, Jay-Z doesn't want to kneel, he doesn't feel like kneeling, but then why is he speaking for us and saying that we are past that, right? So it's just kind of weird, because that's going to make the NFL think that, okay, they're past it. Jay-Z is the mayor for all black people. If Jay-Z says they're past it, then they're past it. And then also by Jay-Z just saying that, he kind of speaks it into his existence, because there could be an 18-year-old kid who yesterday thought about, yeah, if I was ever drafted by the NFL, I would kneel. But then Jay-Z says we're past it, and then that 18-year-old kid decides not to kneel because Jay-Z said that we're past it. So he's listening to Jay-Z and taking Jay-Z's direction, right? And it's not about, you know, Jay-Z signing with the NFL or deciding to partner with the NFL, and I can't believe he did it, and why would he do that? You know, I get it. Jay-Z is a businessman, and he has to make his money, and he has to make his deals, right? So him signing on for this with them to do this thing where he's like, we are trying to get you, NFL, to understand black culture a little bit more, and then we're trying to get, black people to understand the NFL's culture a little bit more and meet in the middle is a positive thing, right? So why can't Jay-Z make some money and do something positive at the same time? That's cool. Right? And if they decided to give Kaepernick a job, I would say, yo, Kaepernick, take it. You know what I'm saying? No, don't say, oh, I don't want to check because it says NFL on the top. Or if I had a little cousin that was being drafted into the NFL, he's 17 years old, I would say, take that, man. Like, go get your money, go get your chicken. Nobody is saying that. Nobody's saying don't do that. But what I'm saying is kind of don't be for sale. You know what I'm saying? A partnership and you just being for sale, selling out, selling your soul, whatever you want to call it, is two different things, right? And Jay-Z has never, ever, to my knowledge, done anything like this before where he ever sold out or sold his soul or let them, get the best of him, right? But it kind of seems like, let me put my arm around my African American, you know what I'm saying? And, oh, we got him. We got Jay-Z now. They got the biggest African American, you know what I'm saying? The first billionaire rapper, you know what I'm saying? So let's put our arm around him and he'll get these niggers in line type thing. Like, I don't know. But that's what it seems like, And Jay-Z's a smart guy. It's not like he's just going to let them use him. He knows what's going on. But that's what kind of bugs me out even more because Jay-Z knows what's going on. And he's like, yep, I'm going to sign right here. You know what I mean? So weird. And I don't know if that's what's really going on, and we would have to wait for the future to see what happens, right? But it seems like that's what's going on. And yesterday I did a video about this and I said, oh, this is cool, this is dope. I think that it's cool that Jay-Z is going to be helping out the NFL see where the black community is coming from and see it from our perspective. And I do think that, right? But if Jay-Z is afraid to, even in front of cameras, at least pretend like he's down with, what we're doing and what we're talking about, then imagine what he's saying behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, he's going to listen to the order and say, okay, I'll try to get them to do this, or okay, I'll try to get them to watch that, or okay, you know what I'm saying? So that's the weird and funny thing to me, right? That it seems like he kind of just signed to them so that he could, get more ratings for the NFL and for the Super Bowl and not really worry about this, And since there's Jay-Z there, that we're all going to just take his direction for it, right? Which is crazy. So the future will tell, how he's going to go about doing this. But it doesn't look pretty because when I initially heard the news, I was excited. But after this press conference and seeing the way that Jay-Z's handling himself in front of all these people is not what's up, yo. And it's a little concerning to me. So let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. So Nicki Minaj says, she goes on Twitter, right? And she says, Charlemagne gets so excited when he thinks someone is about to say something negative about me. That tail get to wagging. That little pussy get to popping. And he gets a giggling. They banned me from the show, but they always talking about me. I'm pulling up soon because we're about to be in New York. I'd rather be invited though. I'm just saying, right? So Nicki Minaj says that in response to what Charlemagne had said yesterday when Rick Ross was on the show, right? So y'all remember yesterday when y'all remember way back in the day of yesterday when Nicki Minaj was like, yo, Rick Ross, sit your fat ass down, right? So basically Rick Ross then went on the Breakfast Club and Envy and Charlemagne asked Rick Ross about that situation and about what Nicki has said, right? So, Charlemagne was icing it up. Charlemagne was hyping it. Charlemagne was like, yeah, so what do you have to say about Nicki Minaj, right? And Rick Ross, mad smooth, right? He said, yeah, it's just that, you know what I'm saying? Like, Rick Ross always is smooth with something and really didn't even say anything too negative about Nicki Minaj. He basically said that, she was the person that was in between Drake and Meek Mill, and somebody from the outside looking in, it's very easy for them to say that Nicki Minaj had a lot to do with their beef. He said, I'm not saying that, but that's just what a lot of people would say, so I'm gonna just leave it there, right? Rick Ross is mad diplomatic with shit like that, right? But Nicki Minaj had seen it, and that's what she responded about Rick Ross and about Charlemagne, basically saying, yo, Charlemagne be getting mad hype when he thinks somebody's gonna say something negative to me, right? And so I'm thinking, like, she also said that she's banned from the show. Now, yeah, it's true that she hasn't been on the show for like years, but I'm thinking, like, how is she banned from the show? But then I started thinking, right? I remember like a couple months ago, well, maybe last year, maybe about a year ago, when Nicki Minaj had said something about DJ Self, and you know DJ Envy and DJ Self are like mad cool, right? And it kind of had something to do with love and hip hop, but basically after, you know, they heard that she had said whatever she said about him, Envy did say on air, on the radio, he was like, nah, I'm not spinning her records no more, we're not playing no more Nicki, right? So that's one thing, right? So I hear you, Envy, when he said, you know, I'm not gonna play no more Nicki because Self is his man's and he wants to support him and not her, right? But I don't really think that Envy said she can't come up here, right? And I never heard Charlemagne or Angela Yee said that she can't come up here. I did hear Envy say we're not playing no more Nicki records, right? So it's just kind of weird, but I guess it goes without saying that if I say I'm not playing no more of your records, that means you can't come up here either. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's kind of what they were getting at. But ever since then, yeah, Nicki's music has been banned at the radio station, and I just kind of felt like Nicki had no desire to even go up to the Breakfast Club for an interview or anything like that, right? But she's on this whole thing where she's like facing all her foes, which is good. I like this, right? So she sat down with Joe Budden and was like, yo, listen, bro, you did X, Y, Z, and blah, blah, blah. But Joe Budden is the type of person that will face his foes too, so they managed to, you know, hash it out and then be cool, right? And then Nicki Minaj was on Joe Budden's podcast, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool, right? She also sat down and said something about Rick Ross, you know, sit your fat ass down, you know? And I know that when her and Rick Ross see each other face to face, it ain't gonna be no, yo, I'm gonna run down on you. It'll probably be a little bit of respect and her saying, I had to say what I had to say, right? I think that, Nicki Minaj takes pride in, you know, calling out other men and kind of just saying what it is, right? And then any real dude is not going to ever want to fight or square up with Nicki Minaj, and probably when they see her try to smooth it over anyway, right? It goes different when it's Nicki Minaj and other females. I think with her and other females it's probably a little bit more like aggressive, and she kind of holds back from talking about other females, but you know, she doesn't hold back for talking about guys. And then also because she knows there ain't no guy gonna put their hands on her or nothing like that, so it's always gonna be a talk it out kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, which is cool, right? So I do believe that she probably is gonna go up on the Breakfast Club really soon and probably try to talk it out with Charlemagne and Envy, while Angela Yee just kind of sits back and is like, uh-oh, you know, awkward. But other than that, you know, I think that hopefully, like, this should be cool, right? But we'll just have to see when it happens. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments down below.
Bitch ass nigga. Let me get one with him. No, not right here. Why the police? Look, nigga, I'm some VA on probation. Let me get one with him. Nigga, fuck you NBA, bitch. You gonna get me on probation? You gonna get me ass nigga. Let me get one with you. Let me get one with you. Let me get one with you. Come outside. Let me get one with you. Come outside, guys. Come outside. Hey. Right? Talking to police like always. Hey, Skinny, suck your bitch. You're a bitch. You a bitch. See me 101. See me 101. You didn't come outside, man.
Alright, yo, so SkinnyFromThe9 was involved in like a street fight or whatever. So y'all see, right? So first, everybody's out on the street, they scrapping, whatever. They telling SkinnyFromThe9, I guess, come outside, right? And SkinnyFromThe9, it looks like he's like in a Chinese food restaurant or something like that. It looks like he's in New Jersey. It looks like he's in his hood, but this is why people have goons, right? Especially celebrities and especially rappers, right? Because I ain't trying to go out there and fight y'all, you know what I'm saying? You go out there like YBO Mighty J and get your face cut and get hit with a bottle and all kind of stuff, right? So you should stay your ass inside, just like SkinnyFromThe9 did, right? And then when the police show up, SkinnyFromThe9 comes outside when they got everybody on the ground and everything like that, and then he's just screaming like, see me one-on-one, see me one-on-one. But they was trying to see you one-on-one, but you ain't want to come outside, right? And I get it, but just don't try to act tough if you wasn't acting tough. You know, Bottom line is this, right? Yo, Skinny from the 9 wasn't really involved in no fight or nothing like that, but his people were, right? The other people that his peoples was fighting, it seems like they are going to be the ones to be arrested. Skinny from the 9's peoples looked like they was just kind of being pushed back by the police, like, go that away type of thing, right? And of course, they probably told the police, hey, this was in self-defense. Skinny from the 9 is a famous rapper. Check out his Instagram, check out his YouTube, whatever. He signed to a major record deal. We're his security, and those guys were trying to bother us, right? And so that looks like it's what happened, right? And Skinny from the 9, if he would have got involved with it, of course he would have got arrested, but then he would have also got out the very next day, unlike A$AP Rocky, who got involved in that other street fight in Sweden and didn't get out the very next day because you were in a whole different country, right? Listen, all I'm saying is be safe out there, right? Because ain't nobody trying to see nothing crazy or bad happen to anybody like Skinny from the 9 or anybody, really, you know, and let your peoples handle it. Don't you get involved, you know what I'm saying? Unless you have to, but Skinny from the 9 ain't gangster. That's all cap, and he really shouldn't get involved, especially if he's not about that life, right? If Skinny from the 9 was Casanova 2 times, then okay, I can see why you would get involved with something like that, because that's what you used to doing in the first place. That's your basic instinct, and you just jumping out there and not even thinking or worrying about security guards. And sometimes people like Casanova don't even have security guards to begin with, right? So it's just me and the streets, and I'm out here, right? But Skinny from the 9 is not that type of person. Don't try to act like that type of person. Just, you know, stay out of trouble, my dude. Let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram. And y'all already know what to do. Peace.